Hello everyone. My colleague and I are proud to present this research. It discusses the connection between teaching styles and digital reality. Why don't we dive with the latest technology to present our topic?
The road to a self-directed learner in physical education, a digital reality, compatible pedagogy.
I taught physical education for 29 years. About 20 years ago, I began integrating technology and noticed greater cooperation from students who grew up immersed in the digital era. What if instead of just teaching how to spike or serve volleyball, we will teach the skills to break down your own performance, figuring out what's wrong and get better? I mean, that's one question is right at the heart of this huge shift in how we are starting to think about teaching and learning. For a lot of us, this is going to feel, well, very familiar. It's the traditional way. Things have been done for a long time. This is that classic top-down approach you probably remember. This way of approach is part of the 11 teaching styles developed in 1984 by Muston and Ashuf, which move across a variety of approaches ranging from discipline to creativity and critical thinking. The teacher demonstrates a skill, the students copy the teacher, and then the teacher provides a correct feedback. This style will stay with us on our journey. But on the other hand, if we wish to join the new learning effort that our students are already there, let us use the advanced features that we have in our technological new era. The command style places the focus entirely on the teacher. By moving away from this approach, the teacher takes on less dominant role and the emphasis shifts to the students, providing them with autonomy, resulting in a completely different teaching style. The SDL style situates the students as the planner of the journey. He designs the entire path from scratch. So if we want to learn how to play guitar, you set your own practice schedule. You are entirely the architect of your own learning. When we add the self-regulated learner style to the SDL, we can see that the students are like a progress manager. The path is kind of laid out for them, but they're totally in charge of how they move along. Let's zoom to the SRL style in the next example. These students receive the topic for the lesson. They take active control from there. They are the ones checking if it actually gets it, figuring out what study tricks work for them, and thinking about, okay, what do I need to do to actually improve? What does it look like in the real world? Well, let's take these ideas right off the shelf and put them into practice. The differences are just night and day. Night and day. Look at this learning. It starts before class with a flipped classroom model. Then, when they get to the class, the students are using tech, become their own coaches. They are actually filming themselves, watching the playback and figuring out what adjustments to do. And the teacher is not a director anymore. He's more like a guide on the side, helping students to figure out how to help themselves. In the next slide, we will see a live example from my students using the SRL style. The students were given a task learning volleyball skills. To succeed, they had to study these skills at home using instructional videos. They also explored the free video analysis app and used it to review the performance and send a feedback. So we've seen the how in that volleyball class example, but that leaves us with the biggest question of all. Why? Why go through all of this trouble? Let's look at the blueprint for this kind of learning and understand the real goal here. I mean, this is about more than just spiking a volleyball. So what kind of person we are trying to build with this new approach? Let's get help from an AI tool that will explain perfectly what I mean.
The goal is to build learners who have these core traits. We're not just talking about passing a test anymore, creating that economy and flexibility to tackle any problem, having the inner motivation to keep on growing and being open enough to thrive in a world that, let's be honest, is always changing. This is for life long after you've left school, all right. So let's bring this all together.
So this is the future. In the end, the command style versus the SDL or the SRL is not just about teaching physical education differently. It's about different philosophies of lifelong learning, with technology expanding the possibilities. Today's students are exposed to highly advanced technology. If they want to understand the challenge of performing a skill, they can use a visual app and apply AI tool to analyze it. Let's see in the next slide how it goes. Please explain in your own words, in 5 sentences, what should my friend, the basketball player, improve in her shooting style that I can help her to improve?
Absolutely. One thing she could work on is making sure her shooting stance is balanced and stable, so she's not leaning too far in any direction. Another key aspect is her follow through, encouraging her to keep her wrist relaxed and let it snap naturally.
Etc. The big question we leave you with is how each of us can integrate these learning tools into our own practice to inspire and empower learners for healthier lives as adults. If I talk about the toolkit, my students may not listen, but if a famous athlete and role model like Simone Biles speaks about it, they can connect. She pursued her education through self-regulated learning while training as a professional athlete, inspiring students to adopt new ways of learning. Of course, Simone Biles won't be visiting your school anytime soon, but the solution is very simple.
What if the future of education is less about teaching and more about building the ability to learn? Maybe the most valuable thing we can ever give someone isn't an answer to one problem, but the internal toolkit they need to find their own answers to any problem for the rest of their
The
lives.
road to a self-directed learner.
You're all invited to read the article in Joped. Thank you.